the post-match analysis review of Chelsea Man City.
And I'll give them 10 out of 10 for backing the team. Every single man, woman and child who was out there got behind the team. Didn't hear Man City sing only Blue Moon a couple of times. But the fans, they lifted the team. The team sort of responded to that. And every player to a man put in a performance. And the two full-backs, Reece and Chilwell, absolutely brilliant. Christensen, I've been really critical of Christensen. He came on for Thiago Silva, who got injured in the first half. Just before half time, he went off with looked like a groin strain. Christensen come on, I thought, oh, here we go. Backwards side, he was brilliant. Every player to a man, I was proud of. As a Chelsea fan, I thought, I mean, to me, we spoke about the Chelsea team before, not having the spine. But every player was a spine in this game. They were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I've got egg on my face. I'm eating humble pie. It's coming out my ear holes, the humble pie. I've slagged the team off.
No, that's fair enough. Takes a big man to admit that. I watched the highlights, and what it seems to me is that when Man City was attacking the Chelsea goal, which was always going to happen because Man City are a creative team, the Chelsea defenders were diving in front of everything.
Well,
they were blocking. It was like watching old school defenders, Martin.
Yeah, exactly. They threw their bodies on the line. There was goal line scrambles.
Yeah.
They threw this. They wanted to win it. Man City, to me, the formation and the team. I love Pep Guardiola. I think he's the best coach besides Thomas Tuchel now. He is a great coach. Fantastic. He's done it at Barcelona. Been a great player. Bayern Munich, great. He's great at Man City, but I think he got a little bit cocky there and thought, right, we're going to blitz Chelsea. We're going to run them into the ground. We're going to attack them. And it didn't work. We had a wall of defence. Everyone defended. Everyone done their job. Everyone knew their job. And Thomas Tuchel, he's a genius. Give him a 10-year contract. He was ranting, he was geeing the fans up, waving his arms up. Come on, get behind the team. He wanted it. The team wanted it. And more importantly, the fans wanted it. The fans were there. They were singing all the old Chelsea songs. You know, when the camera went on the crowd, everyone was singing. Everyone was clapping. Everyone was getting the team. And when it went up 7 minutes, we were 1-0 up. They had a lot of chances. He never really made a save, our goalkeeper. He was solid. Anything come in, he grabbed it, held onto it. Nothing bounced away from him. The defence was all Reece James, Ben Chilwell, getting forward. We blocked Man City. Raheem Sterling never had a look in. And as soon as they started bringing De Jesus and Aguero on, you knew he was going to win it. Because, they're not the quickest of players. They're tricky, but not quick. I knew we'd won it. But the last 7 minutes was hell. I mean, I've had phone calls from my mate in Texas, all over the place. Portsmouth, Sunderland, Barnsley, well done. Glasgow Rangers, well done, Martin. Thailand, loved it. And I just was so proud, and I was very critical of the players. I was really sceptical about what we were going to do in this final, and they went above and beyond with a performance which I'm proud of. I think that is as good as achievement as when we went to Munich and won in Bayern Munich's own backyard. I know on penalties. This time I thought that we were lucky to win in Munich. Everyone knows that. We could have lost about 6 or 7-1. They missed penalties. They missed open goals. But this time, this team didn't give Man City, the best team in the Premiership, we didn't give them a fucking sniff. We were brilliant. And I was proud of that. Absolutely
okay, I'll bring in a controversial point, Martin.
Yeah.
Which should they have had a penalty? Now, before I ask your opinion, the penalty was for a handball.
Yeah.
But the referee was very staunch and said no, chest to arm. And he actually motioned it. Yeah. And he actually said, because the Man City players went crazy.
Yeah.
But the ref actually said no, which I thought was fantastic refereeing. What's your thoughts?
They were clutching at straws. It his chest and hit his arm. It wasn't a deliberate handball. He didn't push his arm or his hand towards the ball. Hit him in the chest or the top of his shoulder up there and bounced away. And they all looked at... I mean, Man City, they were claiming silly things. Raheem Sterling rolled on the floor and handballed it and he's crying. He was frustrated. They all was. Because their system, Apparently, they'd never played that system before. So he's chucked him into this system. And they didn't have a clue what it was about. And it showed. They were frustrated. What's his name? Reyes. He was frustrated. He couldn't get anywhere. As soon as he got the ball, he had 2 or 3 players on him. So he couldn't do all these little trickery and little dribbles. He couldn't get going. None of the Man City players. Phil Foden. Love Phil Foden. I think he's going to be a world-class player. He couldn't get going. He was frustrated. They was all like looking at one another. They was arguing with one another. You know, Walker was frustrated. We really did. We played Man City at their own game. They played lovely football.
I mean, like you said, Martin, once you get a side arguing, they're in trouble.
Well, yeah. Let me say about the referee, he's probably one of, not just because we won, but he was one of probably the best unbiased referees I've ever seen in my life for a UEFA game. He was brilliant, Spanish referee. And don't know if you noticed, you only saw the highlights, but at the end of the game, the camera went on him and the linesman, they was talking. And he was actually crying. He had tears rolling down his cheeks. You know, he was a real, I think the emotion, the occasion got to him. And he was crying. I've never seen a referee cry. And he was crying.
No, I haven't. They always come across as very cold and calculated.
Yeah, sort of sporty, headmaster types. But he was really, he let things go, he carry on. And Raheem Sterling, if he don't get what he wants, he falls on the floor and then you know you got him. He's losing it. He ain't concentrating on the game. He's concentrating on his play acting. So the referee, every time he fell over or claimed a free kick, the referee would say, get up. Reece James had him in his back pocket. Reece, what a player. Reece James, he's come of age. Absolutely every Chelsea player I'm proud of. And I have slagged Christensen off. I've slagged Azpilicueta Dave off. I've slagged Jorginho off. Because I didn't think they was good enough. But last night, on that performance, they earned a place in the Chelsea team. They were brilliant. Every player, all the fans, the manager, the backroom staff, everyone got together. Even people at home were willing Chelsea. Come on, Chelsea. It was brilliant. It was like the old days. And afterwards, apparently, there was about 3,000 fans went up to the ground, singing and dancing till about 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah.
I can't believe, I have to pinch myself because I'm thinking, did we just win the Champions League? Because it's just, I can't believe we won it twice now. Unbelievable. That was like robbery, but we done it. Organisation, brilliant.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I think, what I want to mention, Martin, is that a lot of people slag off modern football. And I've interviewed a lot of people on my channel, UK Casuals, and they're all like, modern football's not for me, VAR, this and blah, blah, that. But I mean, when Chelsea won the Champions League and you said there was 3,000 fans that went up to the ground and were singing and dancing, then surely football's not lost, is it?
No.
The working class can claim it back. And I think that's an important message.
Well, we spoke about it yesterday, about UEFA being greedy bastards. When the cameras went up and all them fat cats, and they were fat, a lot of them, sitting up in the deer seats, all their sponsors and friends of football, 3,000 of them, were all there, all on the piss and having a meal and all that. The cameras went up on them and you could see them. They were fat cats, proper fat cats, overweight fat cats. And that's what UEFA wanted them to why it was in Portugal and not at Wembley. Because it's all about money. As we said yesterday on Pit Trader, they cried wolf, they cried through their dummy and the toys out the pram. This is disgusting for football. Yeah, they won't let 2 English teams play in England because they're sponsors.
Something's wrong there,
friends,
isn't it?
Friends of football, whatever the fuck that is, friends of football. A load of bollocks.
No, it's not.
It's all corrupt, mate. All UEFA, all them, they're just against the Super League. I'm against the Super League. Most fans are against the Super League. But UEFA, don't cry and 2 weeks later stitch up English fans because you won't have it in England or at Wembley or wherever. I'd have played it. I'd have played it at Man City's ground. Didn't give a shit. We won it, and I'm proud to be a Chelsea fan. And now I'm happy.
So just a quick question, Martin, before we get back to the Champions League final and Chelsea's victory. So I asked you before about can the working class reclaim the game from, as Roy Keane rightly phrased it, the prawn sandwich brigade.
Yeah.
What do you think our chances are
Well, I think
of the working class reclaiming the game?
I think it's to some extent the. I don't think there's a chance of reclaiming it as like a working class sport anymore. One, it's too dear, and now Chelsea are champions of Europe. You're going to get every tourist in the world want to stop off in London and say, "Well, let's go and watch a game at Stamford Bridge." Ain't got a clue what it's about. You know, it's like an Englishman going to New York. They want to go and watch the New York Yankees, but they ain't got a clue what's going on. The same as that you're going to get. It's going to be hard to get a ticket at Chelsea. When we won it last time, 2012 in Munich, it was really hard to get a ticket for the game. Unless you was a season to get older and you was a member, you had no chance. Unless you was one of them two. But now, I think you're going to struggle to get in the game. And I think it's going to be more tourists, more middle-class people wanting to go and watch, or upper-class people or celebrities want to go and watch Chelsea. But just getting back to the game, I was quite impressed with what annoys me. I was watching it on BT, and you know I'm not a lover of some of their commentators and co-commentators. Yesterday, the geezer doing the commentating, I think he had a Man City season ticket. He was willing Man City to score. But what makes me laugh with BT, we are watching the biggest game besides the World Cup final in world football, the European Champions League final. Now, this geezer's talking about the game, then all of a sudden, an advert pops up in the left-hand corner. Don't forget the boxing next week. Dubois fighting. What the fuck's that got to do with it? We're watching the fucking Champions League. And he's talking about boxing next week. Stick to the fucking football. You know, that's what makes me laugh. And that they weren't so biased this time, as not before as a cup final. This time they was a little bit more, but he was more leaning towards Man City. They should be impartial. But this time
as a commentator,
BT Sky are the worst. They should look into that and say, hang on a minute, just report or commentate on the game what's in front of you. We're not interested in who's in the final with a fucking bake-off or boxing's on in 2 weeks' time. Concentrate on the game. It's very
Martin.
That's my
so let's have some facts. This is Chelsea haven't won the Champions League for 9 years. Until yesterday. The player that scored is the most expensive player in Chelsea's history. And as I've watched it, the goal was 4 passes from the goalie.
That's it,
now, do you, as a Chelsea fan, do you think the goal was fortunate?
Nah, it was well worked.
It was well worked. Okay, you don't think the goalie got a little bit on it, but then the Chelsea player kept his head and just passed it into an empty net. Now, what I am going to say is Chelsea should have had a second goal, shouldn't they?
We should have had 2 or 3. Werner missed one, standing on the 6-yard line. Pulisic was through, tried to be a clever little chip. He should have just kicked it through the goalkeeper's legs or kept it low. He would have a chance of scoring. We could have won 2 or 3-0 there.
Hit the corner hard and low. That's what I was taught.
But he didn't. But there again. But the goal, you're saying about the goal was fortunate. It was a great pass from Mason Mount. He just turned and looked up. Their 2 defenders, their 2 centre-halves were split. The full-back didn't cover. So it was. But I'll tell you what, he reminded me. He's tall, slim, very skillful, Herbert. He reminds me of a young Peter Osgood. You know, he's got that gait how he runs and he's slow and he don't look interested. Bit like Ozzy. You know, I've been critical of him. All the press when we signed him said, "Oh, Chelsea's signed this one German wonder kid," and I always said, "Yeah, he's a wonder kid. I'm wondering when he's going to fucking turn up." But he did look. It was brilliant.
Is that Werner?
Werner.
Is that Werner you're on about?
No, Herbert's up front, who scored the goal.
Okay.
Yeah, but Werner, he had a good game. He had John Stones in his pocket. Every time he made a run down the right wing, John Stones was shitting himself. He didn't know what to do with him. John Stones ain't the quickest. He's good on the ball. Distribution's good. But he ain't the quickest. And Werner terrified him with his pace, which he does with defenders. If we can sign a good bustling centre forward like Lukaku or Haaland from Dortmund, And another good centre half and a good holding midfield player. I think if we can sign 3 good quality players, which we spoke about before, Liverpool, Man United, they always done it. If they won something big, the league, European Cup, anything, FA Cup, they went and bought 3 or 4 good players. 2 of them would be world class. Chelsea have never done that, but we've got to do it now. We've got to look at that team, look at the manager, and think, right, let's invest in good young players, and we can dominate Europe in the next 5 or 6 years. Every other big club, Man United, Liverpool, even Man City are doing it. Have always done it. We don't. We think we go bargain basement. We go to the fucking pound shop.
You said on Pitch Radio yesterday.
Yeah.
If Chelsea win the Champions League, then the world is the oyster for Thomas Tuchel. I don't think I've said that properly.
Yeah, that's his name. So, you got it right, Thomas. Yeah.
So do you think Thomas Tuchel, or you call him Tommy Tuchel, is going to stay at Chelsea?
Yeah, definitely. He loves the club. The fans love him. They forgot about Frank Lampard. Oh, and that commentator last night, this is Frank Lampard's team. No, it's not. That's not. It's the same players who's in the squad, but Tuchel's picked the formation, picked the tactics. So it's Tommy's team. And they're saying, oh, he inherited. He came in January. The transfer window was closed. He didn't have time to sign players, so it's not his fault. He's working with what he's got, and what he's done with what he's got is brilliant. I'm being honest.
Well, I watched the highlights, Martin, and the expressions from Tommy Tuchel were at, he was playing the game with the players. He was really expressive, and he was there. So I think you've got a really good manager there. I really do.
Of course we have. So don't let someone come in from the board or a director or someone in an advisor or Abramovich come in and say, oh, I don't like him for some piss poor reason, like they did with Ancelotti and Butch Wilkins.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like him. No, stick with him. Let him buy who he wants to buy. Let him play how he wants to play. We're good at the back. We just need a good, strong centre forward, good holding midfield player. I like Ndidi from Leicester. I think he'd be perfect fit for Chelsea. And a good, strong centre half. And then we've got the basis of a good team. We've got more youngsters to come in. The world's, if we invest in some good, decent players, get rid of the shit or the dead wood who've served their time there and ain't really progressed on. Get rid of them, get a few quid, and we go. Get rid of Tammy Abraham and Alonso and all them sort of players, fringe players. Get money for them. Invest in some good quality players, young players, and I think we'll go places because he's got the brains. He can outfox. If he can outfox Guardiola and outthink Guardiola, and he's a big fan of Guardiola. He said that on the telly yesterday. If he can do that, the world's his, as we said before, the world's his oyster. He's tactically brilliant, and now proud to be a Chelsea fan again. And as I said,
well, Thomas Tuchel has come in, and like you said, he's came in at a very hard situation because Frank Lampard he is a Chelsea legend.
Yeah,
very good player. Yeah, didn't quite make it as a manager.
Yeah,
Tommy Tuchel has now won the Champions League with Chelsea. Do you think that's put the Frank Lampard brigade, who won him, back to bed? Has his memory gone now? Is this Tommy Tuchel's Chelsea now?
Yes, 100%. Frank was a great player, fantastic player, world-class player. The fans loved him. Record scorer at Chelsea, all-time record scorer at Chelsea. But fell short as a coach, as a manager. And you can't knock him at that. He tried. We just weren't there. He wouldn't have got us to the final. We wouldn't have got past the quarter final. We wouldn't have beat Real Madrid. We wouldn't have beat Man City. This is probably the toughest route to a final any team's ever had. You look at Atletico Madrid. Look at the teams we played. Real Madrid. We played Seville. We beat some good teams along the way to get there.
Yeah.
It's not been easy. We ain't played.
It wasn't an easy route, was it?
No. It was probably the hardest route any team could ever have to get to the final. And then we go and beat probably one of the best teams in Europe, or the best team in Europe. Them Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid. They're the big teams. And we beat Man City, one of the big teams. So, no, it's Tommy Tuchel's team. Frank Lampard will never be forgotten at Chelsea for what he done. Brought a lot of young kids through, believed in it. I think if he'd have got a better assistant or someone, a wise old head next to him, he might have done what Tommy's done. But he didn't.
Yeah.
He stuck with who he had, and a lot of people said he's got the wrong assistant with him. And I think that was his problem. He gave a job to a mate of his or a friend of his or a former colleague of his, and it didn't work. Instead of saying, right, you've got to go, I'm going to get an old head in with me. Even his uncle, he should have got in. You know what I mean? Harry Redknapp, someone like that.
An old head.
Yeah, but he never did. But that was his downfall. So, and Abramovich, he loved Lampard, but he had to go. And it was a brave decision, and it's proved to be the right decision. So, all these Lampard fans, yeah, I'm a Lampard fan, but I'm not a Lampard fan when he was manager. Because he wouldn't listen, he was stubborn. So,
there's no shame in that. Now, what I'm going to say, Martin, is you've admitted that you've been very critical of Chelsea and the way they've played and their formations, and they play this sideways football, and they don't play in front of them.
Yeah.
So, and you said that you've had humble pie and you've got egg on your face, which takes a big man to admit.
Yeah.
So, who were your standout players for yesterday?
All of them, but especially to me, the full-backs. Ben Chilwell, it was a bit shaky when he came in for Leicester. The price tag 50 million. He was good at Leicester. Had a couple of dodgy games, come out of the team. Alonso come back in. And then Reece James, they switched him from a wing-back to one of the centre-halves. And he was brilliant. He had Raheem Sterling in his pocket. He made Raheem Sterling look very ordinary. You know, and all of them, even Jorginho, who I've been really critical of. He still does this silly pointing for players to do something. But he was all right. Kante run the show in midfield. They didn't have an holding midfield player, Man City. So we just when we got the ball and we broke, we was away. You know, everybody put in a shift. Mason Mount, he was tricky. Werner was quick. Irvitz, he was dangerous. You know, I just think the whole team has played as a unit, which sometimes we don't do. There was a block of 10 players in front of our goalkeeper. Man City couldn't find the little passes to get in to Aguero when he come in. He likes to get the ball with his back to goal and spin off and play a 1-2 and score. He couldn't do none of that because we crowded him. Christensen, I'll give him, was brilliant. Absolutely. And I've been really critical of him. Because I said before, I didn't think he knew the rules of football. He didn't know you could pass forward. He must have played some Tuchel as a kid. Because all he ever done before was sideways, backwards. But he was brilliant. He threw himself on the line. Our players wanted it. We wanted to win that trophy, and we won it. And we're the only team in London to win it.
That's what I took from the game.
Let me just say, and all these scousers who come out with this whole bollocks that we ain't got no history, put that in your fucking pipe and smoke it now. Because we are the champions of Europe. So stop all your nonsense and bollocks about...
No one can argue with that, Martin.
No, and you never started the casual scene either, so put that in your fucking pot. Anyway,
we spoke a little about it on Pitch Radio or the last video we did for SW6 Blues Pride of Chelsea.
Yeah.
Pride of London, should I say.
Yeah.
And that we said, Mount, you wasn't very confident at the beginning that, you thought that Mason Mount maybe was carrying the team at 19 years of age. Yeah. How do you feel his game was? How do you feel that he played?
All right.
His display.
I think he played all right, and he made the pass for Herbert's goal, which was a brilliant pass. He could see a pass, but everyone come up to Mason's level. He didn't shine because everyone else come up to his level. He didn't drop down to a level which is unacceptable. They all come up to his level, so he didn't carry the team. He was part of the team which shone. That's the way I look at it. He didn't. I thought he had a great game. He was like making little passes.
Though, isn't it? If he didn't shine, that means the 10 players on the pitch with him, like as you rightly said, they stepped up and they wanted it.
Yeah, he didn't.
And I think maybe Chelsea haven't, like you said, with Chelsea, FA Cup against Leicester didn't turn up.
No. This
final against Man City, they turned up.
Big time. Big time. Big time. I just thought it was absolute. All the Chelsea fans, all my mates who I go with, there's a couple of my mates, Big Bernie, he phoned me last night. I got loads of phone calls after the game, and they was all saying, my mate Big Bernie said to me, I couldn't watch the last 15 minutes. He said I was like so nervous. I didn't want to watch it. And he phoned me when the whistle went. And there's a lot of Chelsea fans were saying, 7 minutes extra time. Fucking hell, where'd that come from? But it was just absolutely 100% star performance from our team. And I keep saying it, but I was proud of them last night. They all stepped up to the mark. The fans were brilliant. You know, you look at the ones at Wembley, it was like a fucking saga holidays. No one singing. Last night, the whole place was rocking. You only heard Man City sing Blue Moon twice. And that was it. But our fans were at it. The manager, he was whipping the crowd.
12th man. Yeah.
They were the 12th man. And Tommy Tuchel was waving the crowd on. Come on, get behind the boys. And you could see the camera going. And it was kids, women, men, everybody was getting behind them. And all of us at home were saying, come on, Chelsea, for fuck's sake, we can do this. And we done it. And I am so proud of them now. You know, absolutely brilliant.
You know what you just mentioned there, Martin, about Tommy Tuchel waving on the crowd? You don't see that a lot in the modern game, do you?
No.
The interaction with the fans. That's so important, isn't it?
Of course it is. And I've told you before, that man, the players have bought into what he wants. I told you before, you watch him at the end of the game. Not just yesterday, but any game. He's on the pitch, he's getting them in headlocks, he's ruffling their hair, giving them a Chinese burn, pinching them. You know, as I said, you can imagine him with a Stone Island or a fucking Poland shark or a CP jacket on. He's just one of the chaps, you know, and he laughs about it. You know, the media love him because he gives such great interviews. He's always happy, whether we get beat or win. He's always happy. But what a man.
Yeah.
You know, he brought his missus and the kids on.
He's happy with life.
Oh, I mean, mate. And so he should be. So he's loved by us. He's a legend already. It's in 5 months, he's become a legend at Chelsea. He's an absolute legend. I love the man. I think he's brilliant. And whoever picked him as manager, you know, I just think. But even, you know, I've been critical of little Kepa in goal, and what I call the mad midget, 72 million. But even he was on the pitch at the end. He was all part of it. All the substitutes was all Tammy Abraham. I don't rate him, but he was on the pitch. Fair play to him. He was all them substitutes, all them staff were all part of this winning this trophy. They all was one big unit, and that is hard to break down when you've got a solid core of loyal players, backroom staff. That's hard to break down. There was a belief in that whole squad. The whole squad, not just
as you said, Martin. There wasn't a single player that shined. It was 1 to 11.
They all shone.
That's how football should be, isn't it? And if 1 to 11 shine, as a unit, you're in trouble if you're playing against the unit.
Well, what we just said earlier. Now he's got to kick on. He's got to make some signings of his own, and he's got to kick on now. Yeah. Have a close look at. He knows what he wants. He ain't silly. You know, we all know what he wants. We all know what he wants. A big bustling centre forward, a holding midfield player, and another centre half. And we've got a good squad. We've got good young kids out on loan, bringing them in. We've got some not rubbish, but players who ain't really made the grade of Chelsea to go. Come on, let's get it right now. We've got a chance to move on and crack on and do what we can do and be a big team. We should have done. You know, I heard a few years ago after we won the Champions League, all the media were saying now Chelsea are going to dominate for the next 10 years. But we never. We won a few titles, which is lovely. But we never dominated Europe. We never won the Champions League again till 9 years later. And I never thought in my lifetime I'd ever see us win it once. But now we won it twice, so I'm happy. And it's unusual.
I mean, 9 years is a long gap, isn't it, Martin? You know, let's be fair. But so this is an achievement. Let's not get this wrong. You know, this is achievement. You know, as you said, Chelsea went into this underdogs.
Oh, big time.
Let's not forget that.
Man City knew that we were the underdogs, so they was a bit complacent. They was picked a different formation, which, as I said before, they're not used to. And we capitalised on that. We were absolutely brilliant. I can't say no more than that. We were brilliant, and I got it wrong on some players. We're up. They might have listened to me, but I doubt it. And thought, actually, Kingy's give us a kick up the arse.
You never know, Martin. You never know. Okay, Martin. So that still is Martin
I'm still alive.
of SW6, Pride of London. Happy to be a Chelsea fan still and again. And there'll be more videos coming soon.
In association with UK Casuals.
Oh, exactly. Thank you for mentioning that, Martin.
And now you know we're a partnership. So let's get that right. Anyway, all you Chelsea fans, get on the piss. I'm over the moon, and I suppose you all are. So fucking brilliant. And you've got another day to get on the lash. Absolutely brilliant. Fair play to everyone who supports Chelsea. You've seen the bad times. We're having the good times. Let's enjoy it. And what a great victory that was. With daylight robbery. We've nicked the European Cup, which is brilliant. Champions League or whatever you want to call it. But brilliant. I'm proud of Chelsea.
Fantastic, Martin.
Yep. Okay, mate.